Hello, Erastus. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Randy.
How are you doing?
God's grace, I'm well.
Right. We thank God for your life. Let me start off by congratulating you for the risk that you've taken to do this great service to our country. And I can appreciate how frustrating it is when you bring out all these things and it appears that nothing is really been done. But let me congratulate you for this selfless service to God and country.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Okay. So about 7 years ago, President Akufo-Addo launched a fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. And he actually pledged that he was prepared to put his presidency on the line to ensure that we win this fight. Where are we with this fight?
I would say that the fight has failed. It looks like the president has given up, sadly. And now he has kowtowed to the pressure from the citizenry. And because of elections, now they've opened the floodgates. And everybody is mining everywhere and anywhere. And it's so sad that we have very fine laws that are supposed to regulate the sector. And if you want to mine, and of course we cannot stop mining, definitely we can do sustainable mining, protect the environment, get our gold, government gets some taxes, and everybody is happy. But we have rather chosen the other way around, that we will continue to do it the illegal way, do it haphazardly, endanger our own lives, contaminate the environment, and continue. So what we are seeing today is not Konongo alone. I have gone to the I Am Free road, precisely Wasada Dieso. That town has now become a spectacle when it comes to illegal mining. It's being done in the town itself. Chiefs are involved, opinion leaders, assembly members, police in that area, and even local authorities are involved. And it's being done within the settlement itself, by the roadside. And the poison that comes, the residue that comes from the mining is flowing along the Ayamfree Road. So when you are driving on that stretch, you see the river of residue flowing down the road, just like that. And you see the pits, huge pits by the roadside. When you go to Mankranso, as we speak, mining by the roadside is happening. At Osino, just by the Kumasi-Accra Road, they have pitched camp there. They are doing the washing, the processing, and everything right by inches from the main road. And that the water that has settled beneath the road seeks to, eat deep into the Kumasi-Accra Road. At Asamai Tamfwe, right after Osino, another one is just by the roadside. And that gentleman is called Kwesi Asamoah. He came to me. We went there to find out why he's doing that. And of course, it's against the law. If I should read you that part of the law, it says the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 at 703, specifically Section 15 of the Act, states that a person shall not engage in mining activities within a protected area, a forest reserve, a water body, a public place, a settlement, or an area within 50 meters from a public road. And this is just inches from the main Kumasi-Accra Road. There's an excavator which is sitting there. There's a washing bay, artisanal washing bay, as if we are in a jungle. When you go to Konongo, that stretch is within the middle of Konongo itself. That is the river Owere, which flows through that valley. It's just close to the main Kumasi-Accra Road. And I could count over 15 excavators sitting in that valley, mining it away. So it's Randy, it's as if now there's a holiday for nature crimes. When you go to Donkor, there are people with champagne machines sitting on the river of Fing, polluting it, and just a few meters from there is a police barrier. And they are doing their job as if there is no crime being committed. And it's sad. It's I don't know how to describe it. As we speak, there is a GSB, a globally significant biodiversity area, which is supposed to be protected. It's a forest reserve, which has rare tree species. I'm talking about the Tano Anua Forest Reserve. As we speak, there is a popular politician whose party is in power, and he's in there. They are cutting down the trees. Meanwhile, that area belongs to is a timber right which belongs to Samatex, and it's been given out to Clean Jobs. Even before Clean Jobs itself obtains the necessary processes to start what they call formal large-scale mining, there's a popular politician who has gone in there, and yesterday I received pictures and videos of how they are cutting down trees and going the same artisanal way of mining, which has destroyed their Pamprama forest reserve. So maybe this particular government seeks to make money out of our lives. Because the more you destroy the environment, definitely you are destroying our lives. And I think it's a shame that as a people, as learned people from academia and all that, we will sit idly by and watch our environment degraded and poisoned the way we are doing it.
Now, Erastus, up until the middle of 2020, it appeared that we were quite serious. We saw the military being used. Yes, there were issues, but it appeared that there was some spirited fight. What is it that has changed?
You see, we have pumped so much money into a failing system. We all know that when you send the people who are sending the military to fight illegal mining are themselves involved. It's like sitting in a cup and lifting yourself by the handle. So they have areas they go, they have areas they do not go. They have areas they go and they get the big fishes calling them back. And that is why the use of the military, precisely Galamsey, Operation Vanguard, Operation Halt 1, Operation Halt 2, and the other scattered military regimes have failed. You are burning other people's excavators, and few meters from where you are burning the excavators, there are some people who cannot be touched, and they are allowed to use the excavators to mine illegally. How do you regulate the sector that way? So that money has failed to yield the right results. And we continue to fight the same firefighting approach we're using. Whilst we can hold the district assemblies, the local authorities accountable, because they leave. So in Konongo, for example, what is happening there, the DC or MC should be accountable, held accountable, and made to answer. The chiefs in the area could be called to order. They could face the law. That is if the person in authority has the political will to fight. And I don't see that in the current president.
Now, Erastus, a few months ago, there was this video in the Western region where, where the regional minister, Kobi Mensa, Ochiri Daku, I hope I got the name right. Yes, Kobi Ochiri Daku, I believe. Yes. He was there with a parliamentary candidate. And they had met some of these miners, and they were telling them that all these military operations, I'm actually showing the visuals of that, all those military operations have ceased. They've, in fact, stopped all of them. And that they should do their own drawings and bring them for some approvals, and that they were going to set up WhatsApp platforms where the minister and the security people will be there, so that anytime they are arrested, they can quickly put the information out there so that they can be sorted out or released. Now, I try to scan the media, and I don't remember the last time I heard of or saw any of such military operations against illegal mining. We've also heard of this talk about, look, the MPP lost a lot of votes in the mining areas because of a fight against Galamsey. And therefore, if they intend to win this election, then they would have to veer off that particular strategy. What do you make of this?
Well, it's not surprising, and that is what I've been talking about for a very long time. On the ground, when they send military regimes, I have followed some of the military task forces around for a very long time, and I know how they operate. I know the kind of people who call these commanders on the field and what they tell them. I'm privy to some of the information and the kind of people who call. And so I'm not surprised that he said that, because that is what happens on the ground. A number of times you have faceless people in government who wield so much power. They identify the areas that are full of gold. And mind you, when you apply for licenses, you present your data and the geological data, and they see that, okay, there's so much gold here. Sometimes the system intentionally frustrates you, doesn't give you the necessary permit, so that they will go round back with their own people and mine. And so before you even go through the process, they are mining your concession, and there's nothing you can do about it. So we have a licensing regime that is not straightforward. It is controlled by politicians. We have instances where you apply. It takes a long process. They will delay you. They will frustrate you if you are not part of their cabal. And I can give you so many instances. That Clean Jobs concession in the Tano Forest Reserve has taken almost about 3 years to process. And then recently, the politician I'm talking about has gone to the next door of that concession and has started mining illegally. They do not have the requisite licenses, but as we speak, they have macho men and other fully armed people protecting them. And before you realize, they have mined from that location and eaten into your concession. And there's nothing you can do.
I don't have that evidence.
So they have their people on the ground who are violating the law with impunity, and it's because people in authority, people who have power, are behind that. And to me, it's not like rocket science where we cannot fight this illegality that is going on. Secondly, now back to your political statement. Now, it is true, when you speak with the Galamsey people, some of whom tell you that they sponsored MPs, they sponsored campaigns of Nana-Addo at the time, and they were expecting a certain kind of promise. I disagree with people who say that it was because Nana-Addo was fighting illegal mining, that is why he lost in certain areas. When you speak with the Galamseyers, they will tell you, they did not vote against him because he was fighting illegal mining, but because he stopped them, bent their machines, and allowed his own people to mine. And to them, that is not fair. So if you are applying the law, then it must apply to everybody. But you don't apply the law to them, bend their machines, and then you ask your own people, go there to mine, protected by the military. And it has happened with the Apamprama Forest Reserve, where Imperial Heritage Mining was in there, mining, under the protection of over 35 fully armed military men. I was detained in that forest, part of the forest, for 5 hours with my team. Some of my team members were assaulted by the military. Why will the military paid by the taxpayer be protecting a miner who is pillaging the forest reserve?
Erastus,
if they are not protected by powerful people.
Erastus,
So that is why the reasons that they give for voting against anybody, not because somebody is fighting illegal mining.
Now, Erastus, do we have a single water body which was hitherto affected by illegal mining, Galamsey, that we can say has cleared up as we speak today? Just one.
Randy, I will urge everybody to go out. If you are traveling on the Axim Road, just go to the estuary at Akosombo and see it for yourself. Things have gotten worse with the Ankobra River. They've mined directly in the river from all the Nzema towns, from Banso to Awolenzo to Douale, all along that road, the stretch. They are sitting directly on the riverbed, mining with sampan machines. Come to Ashanti region. The offing is inundated by over 300 of these sampan machines. Atachuman Punua and its environs. Abumpe, Abesia and its environs. And they are there. They are mining, glaring. You go to Donkor on the offing, close to a police barrier. There are sampan machines on the offing there. The same applies to Tano. Look at what the Chinese are doing to the Tano River. And when we expose some of these things coming from their own regional chairman who was mining directly into the Tano River at Samreboy, nothing was done. And they are there. They are still polluting the river. Go to Brim in the eastern region and look at the number of sampan machines that are polluting it. Yesterday I passed there. Look at the color of the river. And some of them, they are even drying up. The same applies to the Pra River. Recently, we were at Dabwase, the intake point of the Ghana Water Company Limited. And the level of pollution used to be around 3,800. The first time we went there was around 1,800. Then we went there again, it was 3,400. The figures released by the Ghana Water Resources Commission put it around 3,000 and above. Now the water company itself puts it around 7,000 NTU.
Whoa.
And the normal rate, the WHO accepted level is 5 for drinking water. 5. Subtract that from 7,000. That is the level of pollution of the Pra River, which they are pumping to trees and send to homes. We tested it. We found high levels of heavy metals, arsenic, chromium, lead, cadmium in there. Please ask them whether Ghana Water Company's treatment process now can lift heavy metals from the water. So are we not poisoning our own people? And almost every river I have come across, the Bia, all the major ones we used to learn in our books, geography books, are gone, polluted, contaminated, highly polluted. And it's not me saying it. You can drive to any of them and watch. You will see it for yourself.
What about the forest reserves?
So the forest reserves, like I told you, the Tano Anyia, which is the GSBA, is currently being invaded as we speak. There are men in there. One is a popular politician whose party is ruling now.
Who's that?
They are there. I won't mention the name because I need to provide you with the evidence that links him to it.
That's fine.
But on the ground, I know.
That's fine. Okay.
On the ground, I know. And he knows himself. He can stop. The forest reserve, the Apamprama Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region, the Forestry Commission says 50% of it is gone. 50. I went there, I flew a drone, I showed you pictures. Mm-hmm. It's online. It's called Forest Under Siege, Apamprama Forest Reserve. You can watch it. And you can see the level of devastation. Miles, pits and gullies. Now, the areas that have been given out legally, with the enactment of the LI 2462, which now gives the president an opportunity or the power to grant even protected forest reserves for mining. And with the enactment of that guideline, now almost all the GSBAs have been given out. Boy Tano, Anya, Draw River in Drabanso has now, there's somebody who is there mining. Tano Nimre has officially been given out. After Akonta mining invaded the place, now has been formally been given out with the enactment of this guideline. So it's like we don't have a plan. And if you go there and you look at the kind of mining they are doing there, even if you're giving it out, let's have a plan. So you want to mine this forest. What kind of mining method are you going to use? Is it surface mining? Is it underground mining? Can we decide which one will be good for the environment? If it's underground, get people who can invest and do it properly so that we can have the environment for other things. You give concessions and they coincide with somebody's timber rights. How do you get to the mineral without destroying the person's investment?
Now, Erastus, I watched a documentary you did with Joy News a couple of days ago, and you were with some expatriates or a diplomatic community, and you were speaking about how some people in some communities are trying to purify the contaminated water in their respective areas. Can you take us through that?
So some diplomats requested that I give them evidence of the impact of Galamsey on the lives of people in some communities. So I took them to Ewusiejo. It's on the Takoradi Road. And Ewusiejo is situated close to the Butre River. And if you know the history of that place, that is their livelihood. They used to fish in the river. They use the river for their chores. It's their source of water. Now that river is contaminated. It's highly polluted. We tested samples from it. We found high levels of heavy metals. They were drinking it still 2 years ago until the education came that is full of poison. And so the assembly members in the area, did announcements and they stopped drinking it. But now they do not have other sources of water. The boreholes in the town, I think, are about 2, and they are very far away from some of the residents. So when I went there with them, the women demonstrated how they clean the water and use it. To them, they are cleaning the water. So they buy aluminum sulfate, and it's sold in shops in the area like you're buying tomatoes. So a lump of it costs 1 cedi. They buy the aluminum sulfate, they fetch the polluted water, they mix it with it, and then it settles the particles. And then they pour what is on the top, and they use it to do their domestic chores. And when I look at the kids, where they say that when they use the cleared water to bath, it gives them skin rashes. And you look at the kids, all the rashes on their bodies. The same thing I realized at Achirubanda, which is sitting directly by the Pra River. Aluminum sulfate is sold all over, and that's what the women use to clear the water, and they use it to wash utensils, use it to bath.
So you see,
and you know the health effects, because once you clear the water, you think it's safe. It's not safe. The heavy metals and other things are still there. And the aluminum sulfate itself has an effect on the skin. And the diplomats I sent there were shocked. So that's how people are clearing water and using it, the polluted water, because many of them do not have other options or many of the options to go to.
Well, Erastus, this is heart-wrenching, but look, on the basis of all your experiences, I've heard you say that you don't think that this government can deal with this issue. They've not shown anything at all in dealing with it. But from your experiences, I mean, we obviously can't continue living like this. What's the way out? How do we deal with this issue?
I think that eminent people in this country have been sleeping for too long. They should wake up. Parliament itself has been sleeping, and they should wake up on Galamsey. They have some responsibility. They should start speaking. Organized labor should not sit idle. The media, some of us are doing some jobs. How can we dedicate more time to this? Because this is an existential threat. It affects all of us. We should start serious campaign on this thing. These are few people who are messing up with the health of an entire country. If the president is not acting, which so far, because I'm not seeing anything, now every fight is gone. There's no military anywhere fighting anything. At the district level, there is no restraint. So can we start speaking? Can we start mounting pressure and demanding the GMA, the Ghana Medical Association, the TUC, and all other institutions, Parliament itself, should rise up and speak. The clergy should join this. Let's not leave it in the hands of a few people to talk about it. Together, I think we can demand that something, the right thing, is done. We are not saying that we shouldn't mine. We will mine. That is why we have set up laws to guide mining, responsible mining. Let's demand that we start restructuring the process and getting things done the right way so that we can save our environment.
Erastus, thank you so very much for joining me this morning. And I can only pray for divine safety and security for you, and say that God richly bless you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Okay. So that's Erastus. I don't know what to say.